Smile. An expression on the face in which both ends of the mouth curve up slightly. It often indicates pleasure, happiness, friendliness, or amusement, but can also be used to express politeness, affection, or even nervousness. After hearing the good news about her promotion, Sarah couldn't help but smile brightly. She gave me a big smile and wished me good luck. Grin. A grin is a broad smile, often showing the teeth. It usually expresses amusement, satisfaction, or sometimes mischief. He couldn't hide his grin when he saw the surprise party waiting for him. He couldn't help but grin when he saw his favorite team score the winning goal. Giggle. A giggle is a light, silly, and often uncontrollable laugh, usually triggered by something amusing or from nervousness or embarrassment. The kids started to giggle when the clown made a funny face. They were all joking and giggling nervously as they waited for the ceremony to begin. Pout. A pout is a facial expression where the lips are pushed forward, often to show annoyance, sulking, or sometimes to try to look cute or sexually attractive. She didn't say anything, but I could tell from her pout that she wasn't very pleased. She gave him a playful pout, with a seductive sway of her body. Wink. A wink is a quick closing and opening of one eye, often used as a signal of humor, flirtation, or a shared secret. He gave her a wink to let her know he was just joking. She winked at her friend across the room when their plan started working. Glance. A glance is a quick or brief look at something or someone. She stole a quick glance at him across the room, hoping he wouldn't notice. He gave her a quick glance as he passed by, but said nothing. Side glance. A side glance is a quick or subtle look to the side, often used to show curiosity, suspicion, amusement, or secrecy, without turning your head fully. She shot him a side glance followed by a playful smile. He gave her a side glance before turning back to the window. Stare. A stare is a long fixed look at someone or something, often with wide eyes. It can show surprise, curiosity, rudeness, or deep thought. He stared at the painting for minutes, lost in its details. She felt uncomfortable under the stranger's intense stare. Peer. To peer means to look closely or carefully at something, especially when it's hard to see or when you're trying to see something hidden or unclear. He peered through the foggy window, trying to see the shadowy figure outside. She had to peer into the darkness to find the missing keys. Frown. A frown is a facial expression where the eyebrows are drawn together and the forehead wrinkles, usually showing disapproval, confusion, or concern. She frowned when she saw the low grade on her test. He walked into the room with a frown on his face, clearly unhappy about the turn of events. Grimace or grimace. A grimace is a facial expression that usually shows pain, disgust, or discomfort, often by twisting the face or tightening the mouth and eyes. She grimaced as the doctor cleaned the cut on her arm. He couldn't help but grimace at the rude comment she made during dinner. Scowl. A scowl is a facial expression that shows anger or displeasure, typically with furrowed brows and a downward turn of the mouth. He scowled at his move, his face twisted in anger. She couldn't hide her scowl when the waiter brought her the wrong order. Smirk. A smirk is a smug, sly, or self-satisfied smile, often suggesting arrogance, amusement, or secret knowledge. He sat back with a self-satisfied smirk. That's not what I meant, he laughed, but the smirk he gave her said otherwise. Sneer. A sneer is a facial expression that shows contempt, disdain, or arrogance, typically by raising one side of the mouth. It often involves a curled or twisted upper lip, emphasizing the mocking or scornful attitude behind the look. He sneered at the suggestion, clearly dismissing it as unworthy of consideration. He acknowledged their presence with a condescending sneer. Squint. To squint means to partly close your eyes, usually in order to see something more clearly, because of bright light, or as a reaction to suspicion or displeasure. She squinted at the tiny text on the label, trying to read the ingredients. He squinted into the sun, shielding his eyes with one hand as he searched for the car. Wince. To wince means to make a slight involuntary movement or facial expression in response to pain, embarrassment, or distress. He winced as the nurse cleaned the wound with antiseptic. The audience winced when the comedian's insult went too far.